Okay, after playing Borderlands 4 on different GPUs, have an idea how this game is going to work. Even on a 3080 Ti, which is going to be pretty disappointing. But I'm glad that games like Dying Light the Beast still come out, which gives us hope in different modern games, you know. So this is just a bad example. We have good games like Dying Light out there. So we're going to be pairing up the 3080 Ti with the 9800 X3D and 64 GB of DDR5 memory running at 6000 MHz. Everything is base speeds. So let's just jump into the benchmark on 4K, 4040p and 1080p. And as usual, let's try it off on DLAA and badass settings on 4K. It's a 3080 Ti. I know it's a 12 GB card, but this thing was a beast a couple of years ago. One of the top end GPUs from 2021 from the 30 series cards, and see, we are getting 8 FPS below double digits performance from the astonishing Borderlands 4. I didn't expect anything better. You know, it's Borderlands 4. We've been seeing enough of this game from the past few days on different GPUs, and I did not expect anything better. So native badass settings, terrible. So I didn't see any point in trying to go for high settings or very high settings. So I just did the medium settings, native, and getting barely 30 FPS. And again, as expected from this game, I am not going to expect any miracle because we have seen enough, even on the 5080, getting barely 50 FPS on these settings. So what can the 3080 Ti do? It's only 12 GB and a couple years old at this point, so I don't expect anything great. 34, 36, using about 10 GB of VRAM and 350 watts of power. You know, it's doing its best. I know it should be way better. We should be getting more than 60 FPS in a game like this, but Unreal Engine is what it is. And now we are on low settings, DLAA on 4K, to see if we can get more than 50 FPS. But now we're still below 40 FPS, unfortunately. And low settings just basically takes out all the foliage, all the texture quality and everything, but still it is pretty terrible. Not even getting 40 FPS on 4K. I mean, look at this, man. Just accept the lighting quality. Everything else looks like an old game. And it looks even worse than Borderlands 3. So I don't know why we're getting performance like this. Borderlands 3, pretty sure we're getting like more than 60 FPS even on badass settings with the 3080 Ti. But this game, man, yeah, it's just a mess. And I wish it was something like Dying Like the Beast. Because that game was able to get more, like around 60 FPS even on maxed out settings on 4K. Without any upscaling. So yeah, if you guys want to check that video out, it's going to be in the channel. So yeah, but Borderlands 4, disappointment again. And this gunfight is not that intensive, but still we are dropping below 35 FPS at some point. And the 0.1% loss is 3. That was a major dip somewhere. So yeah, you gotta keep that in mind as well. Game just drops significantly sometimes. Yeah, man, sad to see this. Okay, so getting more than 60 FPS without any upscaling was no way possible, even on low settings. So I just decided to go to DLSS performance on low. So that gives us slightly above 60 FPS performance. So this is upscaled from 1080p. You gotta keep that in mind as well. So 1080p low will get me 60 to 75 FPS range, somewhere in between. And this is a really open area. As you can see here, there's not a lot of detail going on except that I'm fighting these bad guys. Other than that, there's nothing much going on, and you can see it's barely 60 FPS, 65. So if there's more stuff going on in the scene, expect below 50 FPS. Yeah, right there, like it's still dropping below 60 FPS. So even on low with performance DLSS, you're not getting consistent 60 FPS. And I just bumped up the graphics to high settings to see if we can actually get 60 FPS. I know we didn't get consistent 60 FPS on low settings, so I was tripping when I tried this out. I'm not gonna lie, but I just wanted to see if it's actually possible. And you can see it's dropping below 40, even 45 sometimes, and that's not a good sign. So just sticks around the 40 to 50 mark, and even has 6 FPS, 0.1% loss. Insane, terrible dips. Staying about 10 GB of VRAM usage. Yeah, man. Again, such a bad experience with the 3080 Ti in Borderlands with DLSS performance upscaling on high. And now I just wanted to try out Randy Pitchford's favorite technical thing to do in this game, and that is activating frame gen. If you activate frame gen, you're gonna have magically a good FPS and no issues at all. Okay, so this is performance mode on 4K high settings and FSR frame gen, because we don't have NVIDIA frame gen on these 30 series cards, and we are getting 90 FPS with which is upscaled and generated from 47 FPS. So still not a 60 FPS experience. And believe it or not, it was terrible. I was feeling so bad when I was moving the mouse around, which is why I'm missing most of the shots here, because the input lag was absolutely terrible, even with 2x frame gen, which is what FSR has, since it doesn't support 4x frame gen NVIDIA cards. So it was so bad even on 2x. And this is what Randy Pitchford thinks we cannot notice. The human brain cannot notice input lag. That's what he says. Yeah, bro. My brain is not as slow as yours. Okay? So I could immediately notice the input lag, which was terrible. And no, this is not playable for me at all. And that is 4K settings. Absolutely terrible. Unless you go all the way to low settings and turn on DLSS performance. Just not recommended at all. Okay, now it's time for some DLAA badass settings on 1440p with no upscaling and frame gen. And that gets us a staggering 29 to 30 FPS gameplay, which is absolutely terrible. And this card can definitely handle games at 1440p with no issues up until this game, and maybe Monster Hunter Wilds. That's another disaster that we don't like to talk about. So it's even dropping below 30 FPS, even going down to 25 in this section, in this area of the map. And yeah, this is a more dense area, not just open and with barren lands. It has more stuff going on, so that's why we're losing more FPS, not even getting 30. And such a shame, man. 1440p not gonna be enough on native badass. Okay, now we're going straight down to medium settings. We're not gonna go very high or high, because badass was giving us less than 30 FPS, so I just went straight to medium on native DLAA, and we're still not getting 60 FPS on 1440p. And that's crazy. This card is a $1,000 card from 2021, and it's not even that old. It's just 4 years old, and we're not getting 60 FPS with medium settings on 1440p. That's insane. Like, this game would have been a 10 on 10 for me if the performance was better. You know what I mean? Like, just give us some options to turn off nanite and lumen. That would be it. It would give us significantly better performance and make the game 100% more playable on lower end PCs and stuff, so more people can enjoy this. Now, the only thing that's keeping this game away from people with low budget or mid-range PCs is a terrible optimization, man. The gameplay is extremely fun. I'm loving the fuck out of it so far. And for me, I can play the game because I have multiple different GPUs and a really strong processor and everything. So it's okay for me, but I test these games out and see how it is on different GPUs, and I can understand the people with PCs that cannot handle games like this. And yeah, man, it's just sad to see. So I just went down to turn on some upscaling, this time to balance settings instead of going quality. And now we are on 75 plus FPS. And it still drops down below 70 at times. The averages are like 70, 71. Just, just not bad. This is playable, but this is the type of performance that we expect from a game like this on badass settings on 1440p. I mean, I can give it the edge because this is a new game. I can't expect the same kind of performance that we got on Borderlands 3. Even though the visuals are looking like 70% similar, except that the lighting is a little bit better. But yeah, I can just give it to that because it's Unreal Engine 5 and it's a new game, so... But this is medium settings with balanced upscaling. That's insane. That's not even 1080p upscaled to 1440p. That's 720p at this point. So you need a $1,200 for GPU from 2021 to play Borderlands 4 on medium settings upscaled. That's a joke. So now let's go ahead and try Ultra Performance DLSS on medium, which will get us to 100 FPS, barely 100 FPS. But it's gonna still stay somewhere around the 90s to 95 FPS range. So now it's DLSS Ultra Performance. I think this is 540p upscaled to 1440p at this point. And this also heavily depends on your CPU power. It's a 9800X3D, so which is really powerful CPU. And you're seeing close to 100 FPS. So if you are running a 3900X or something like that on the lower end, or an i5 from the 11th gen or 10th gen, something like that, you're gonna see about, I don't know, maybe 30 FPS lower than this, so that's gonna be miserable. So it depends heavily on your CPU's performance as well when you're turning it down to ultra performance DLSS. So yeah, still not getting 100 FPS. And yes, the game has become a lot more blurry because you're like upscaling from a lower resolution. So yeah, really sad to say this. That's the 1440p settings. Okay, now on 1080p. Let's see what the 3080 Ti got on Borderlands on 1080p. So again, starting off on badass native DLAA. And look at that. Still less than 30 FPS. So pretty much a zero performance boost from 1440p to 1080p. Wow. I don't know what to say about that. Still using like about 12 GB of VRAM, which is maxing out the GPU. And 40% of the CPU. So you're getting below 30 FPS. And I gotta say, this gun was so good. And I'm starting to think like the guns in this game are gonna be way better than Borderlands 3. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about the guns in this game, because so far, pretty good. Okay, so badass settings on native DLAA. Absolutely terrible, so I decided to go to performance on 1080p. It's still not getting 60 FPS, look at that. Like, what more do you want from a $1,200 GPU, man? Like, just give us the option to turn off Lumen and Nanite or ray tracing. I don't even know if that's turned on automatically in the games, like pre-built like Doom, the Dark Ages, but at least in that game it was noticeable. We have no idea if it's actually on in the game or off in the game. If it is, just patch the game and give us an option to turn off ray tracing, Nanite and Lumen, and I'm pretty sure we're gonna get like at least 100 FPS more than what we can see here, especially on these settings. So please do that for the sake of gamers. So now we're gonna go down to high settings and turning off all kinds of upscaling and everything. So this is basic FXAA, I believe, and we're still not seeing any improvement. Just like we saw in 5080, there's basically no improvement at all. Maybe a little bit because we're seeing 60 FPS, but this is high settings. Getting less than 60 FPS on high settings native without any upscaling, that's crazy. On 1080p, it's not even 1440p. And now again on FXAA, we're gonna go down to medium settings since high settings wasn't able to get us to 60 FPS consistently. Such a shame. And medium settings will get us to 60 to 70 FPS category. So that's not terrible, but even then we can see like 0.1% lower. There was a big dip somewhere in the game, and barely getting 60 FPS. I'm pretty sure it's gonna drop below 60 FPS if we just go into a fight scene right here with the bandits, because fighting with the bandits seems to be more intensive compared to these wild animals roaming around. So yeah, and now we're gonna go down to DLSS Ultra Performance on medium settings, and that will give us 100 plus FPS finally. So that's what it takes. You gotta go down to 1080p and go to medium settings and go Ultra Performance DLSS. So we are upscaled from I guess 360p at this point, and yes, it is really noticeable the blurriness of the visuals. Still not as bad as FSR, but it is noticeable, especially on a 4K monitor. You are looking at a big screen, and you can like actually pinpoint all the pixels. Yeah, and yeah, it's not that pretty, okay, but you're getting more than 100 FPS. So if you're happy with it, by all means, go ahead and play like this. But for me, no, I'm not. Especially when you're paying a lot of money for a game, first of all, because this game is an $80 game, and on top of that, you're paying about $3,000 to $4,000 on a PC to get this kind of miserable experience. So yeah, I cannot comprehend anybody playing a game like this and be satisfied. Couldn't be me. And now we are on DLSS Ultra Performance and low settings. The thing is, like, my brain doesn't let me go down all the way to low on a 3080 Ti. It just doesn't fit right for me. Like, so, but anyways, for the benchmark, I had to try it out, and low settings just kills all the foliage in the game, and it just looks so ugly. But this mode, his skill, his ability, or whatever you want to call it, it's pretty cool, man. Like just the third-person mode and just slashing people up with all the gore in it. Like I said, man, the gameplay is absolutely fantastic. Just that the performance sucks. And we are seeing 130 FPS, something like that, with the DLSS Ultra Performance and low settings in 1080p. And yeah, we should be getting more than 300 FPS on these settings, but apparently not. It is a reality of Borderlands 4, such a miserable performance. And now finally, just to see how much we can push with this GPU and CPU combo with frame gen, so we're gonna keep it on DLSS Ultra Performance. I mean FSR Ultra Performance, since we don't have frame generation on the NVIDIA settings. So we're going FSR Ultra Performance, which just makes the game looks absolutely ugly. You can already see that, super blurry, muddy, and getting more than 200 FPS. And you can see it's generating from 100 FPS, since FSR only has 2x frame gen. So yeah, 200 FPS, you're not even getting 250 FPS, because we were not getting more than 150 FPS on without frame gen. So that's what you can expect from this card and CPU combo, man. Really terrible. So let me know what you guys think about this, and I hope you guys are having a great time wherever you are. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.